was the lunch? Good afternoon. Hectic, right? Yeah, I know. I don't know. You know what my fate is? This is fifth conference that I get a slot just after lunch. Just after lunch, right? And so we'll make a working agreement for next 45 minutes. And my agreement from my side is I will not sleep. Yeah, for sure. Right? So, can I expect the same from you? Right. Thank you. Okay, so the reason is I'm also going to give you a lot of gyans about human part of this. Yeah. So my topic is about beyond process practices. Right, what I have seen in agile transformation, like people get stuck at uh, uh, just process part of it or practice part of it, right? And wow, we got super results because our velocities increased from 20 to 50 story points, right? So uh, that has a lot of side effects, implication in the long run. Right? So my topic is about how does it affect human? Are we taking care of human? Finally, these are bunch of people who are working to build this product, right? Are we taking care of the human? Right? That's the topic. Yeah? So okay, so what are the reasons for agile adoption? Can we kind of quickly? Can I hear from you? What are the reasons for agile adoption in your company? Rat race, yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah. You're saying something? Time to market. You want to speed up the release, yeah. Good. Okay, no, I'm talking about agile adoption for the organization. Oh, you adopt. Okay, okay, okay. So what's the reason behind the leadership going behind this, right? Early feedback, faster release. Yeah. So there is this is like customer, right? Why you guys are not agile? Yeah, yeah. We are doing daily stand up, right? Have you seen this? You know, we are already agile. So uh, all this last 4 years, since I left my job and started my consulting, all the companies that I worked with, they are agile for more time than that I spent in agile. Yeah, and they still have this fundamental problems because they are agile because they follow some smaller things, right? And if you look at all these reasons, nothing related to human. Have you noticed this? It's all about your product, your process, your something that you want to release it fast, you want to make money, nothing related to human, right? That's a challenge, right? Okay, so look at this, right? This I took it from the version one. It's kind of looking at last 4 5 years, the survey of version one to see how is it trending. What are the reasons for agile adoption? So if you look at this, there are at least some 7 or 8 reasons, and if you see these reasons, all of them are what pretty much you said. Yeah, it's about accelerate product delivery, managing changing priorities, right? Increase productivity of the team. The definition of productivity itself is changed. Right? It's productivity is like people have to work more, and it's in agile world probably we deliver more, right? So so nothing related to absolutely nothing related to human, right? And it's also you see the curve. Can you see that last 2 years? Actually, last 2 3 years, there's more reason for this. Like actually want to release faster, release right often. Right? So okay, so let me put all this whatever we do in some terminologies. Have you seen this? Heard about these terminologies in the past? I'm sure you just finished something yesterday and then came. One of these surely would have done this yesterday. Sure, right? What are these? These are live. Agile, yeah, agile buzzwords. A lot of agile buzzwords, yeah. So let me put some color to it. Yeah, I'm just putting a little more color to this. These are all Scrum events, basic events. Yeah, sprint planning, review, retrospective, daily Scrum, right? Backlog refinement, engineering practices, hundreds of engineering practices, right? We have like take from fundamental code review till like TDD, extreme programming, and whatnot, right? CI, CD, a lot of practices, and there are some specific guidelines on the backlog. Right? There's a lot of defined work, like there's guidelines on time boxing, incremental software development, agile basic principles of agile. right? And then some techniques on estimation techniques, release techniques, and so on. So you see a lot of things. There are tools, there are definitions. All these are nothing but process changes. If you see, we have seen like hundreds, right? So I've written at least 50 of them, right? So let me ask you this question: how many of you sincerely follow this? Okay, I'm going to introduce a technique called Fist of Five. Do you know what is Fist of Five? Have you heard about it? Yeah. So when I make a statement, if you agree with me, you'll show number five. You fully agree, yeah, right? Say, we want to sleep tonight. Yeah, you all say yes, five. 5 out of 5. Yeah. If it is zero, this is a stupid idea. What is this? This is nonsense. Right? We are nowhere close to that. I don't want to sleep for next 3 nights. Yeah, that's what it means. If three, I'm confused. Yeah. Show me a number when I make some statements. Yeah. We follow pretty much all these practices listed here. Show me a number. Show me a number, right? Great. So fives and fours, okay. I think I pretty much saw that. If you see these numbers, I don't know whether you noticed, we are threes and twos and ones. There are threes and twos and ones here. Right? There are very few fours and fives. Yeah. Okay. So what does that mean? What do we learn from that? Yeah, number one is that, right? There are a lot of practices and process in place. We don't really do it as it's supposed to be done. Okay. Okay. Exactly. Right. So now by doing this, right? What are these process changes? There's nothing but doing agile. You've been hearing this terminology, doing agile, being agile, right? So this is like, what the hell is this being agile and doing agile? This is doing agile. I'm going for a stand-up is doing agile, right? I'm actually doing a sprint planning is doing agile. Does it affect me personally? Does it affect my business? Does it really give me a satisfaction? My customer is so happy, thrilled. Not sure about it. Yeah, it at least exposes some problems. At least, yeah, we know that there are some challenges. Yeah, so this is called doing agile. Yeah, so do you succeed just by following these practices? Those who are like showing 4 or 5, have you seen a wow that because of this process in place, things change? Like my life has changed, my customer's life has changed. Yeah, Sunil. Great. Exactly. Exactly. Right. So Sunil, to the point, exactly, uncertainty increases, and to the point, I'm just going to tell you a story, right? A cat and the monk story. Have you heard about this story? It's a pretty interesting story, right? As Swamiji, let's take in our own context, right? There's Swamiji, who was actually he preaches every day, and nearby villages they like his preaching, so they actually go to him in the evening, right? They finish the work, they're tired, okay, they want to just hear something nice from him. They go to him every day. So while he was preaching, one of the days, one cat was actually running around, right? And that kind of was disturbing the people who were sitting there. So the Swamiji noticed this. Then he left it. Okay. So the second day again the same thing happened. Third day same thing happened, right? So the Swamiji kind of called one of his disciples and said, "Can you tie this cat because it's kind of disturbing me as well as them. I want these people to really listen to me and get something out of this, and that's kind of distracting people, right?" So this disciple actually picked the cat, tied it in the corner. Next day, again the cat was running. The Swami just looked at the disciple. He came running. Cat caught the cat. Again tied it to the side of the one of the pillars. Then it became a practice. The disciple is actually a very good guy, so he decided that no. Next day, think I don't want Swamiji to tell me. I'm going to do it first. He took this and tied it. So this became a practice, right? So that this was going on very well. So evening 5 o'clock, the cat will be there in the corner, so that there is no disturbance. Yeah, Swamiji was so happy. Okay, everything was going good. One day, Swamiji died. Yeah. So one of the senior most monks came up as a next Swami, and he started preaching, and this procedure continued. This process continued. After a few months, unfortunately, the cat also died. You know what happened? Now they started searching for a cat. Because when there is a speech going on, right, there has to be a cat tied on that corner. Because that's a practice we have been following for the last 2 years. You see the problem that what Sunil was talking? And doing a process without having a reason for why we are doing it. Right? Most of the time we just do it. I've seen team doing daily scrum for 3 years and ask them why are you doing this? One person could not answer the reason for it. Yeah. It's a status report for one person standing next to the board, looking at each one. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Just a practice, right? And we are so used to it. 11 o'clock, I need to go there and stand. Right? This is a pain with the process, right? And unfortunately, the organizations are looking at adoption reasons. You saw that, right? All of these are related to the delivery, the product. So you need to put some process in place to bring that up, right? So process alone doesn't help us in moving forward. Okay. So, so there is one more report which talks about the reasons for failure in version 1 survey. Right? I kind of pulled it for last again 4 years. Looked at it, what are the common reasons? The top 6 or 7 reasons, there are like 15 reasons they listed out. The top 6 or 7 reasons I pulled it, not anything more, maybe 3, 6, 9 reasons I pulled it to see what are the actual reasons. If you look at it, number one, these reasons, if you see, it was maybe like 10-15 percentage was the reason for failure 3 years back, and now it is maybe like 30-40 percentage. A reason that did not exist in the past, or it was a very small reason, became a bigger reason. Yeah, number one. Yeah. So what would be the reason? What would be the logic behind this? Why all of these reasons became very critical in the last 2-3 years? Any thoughts? Okay. Yeah. So these are the reason for failure, right? For example, yeah, enforcing, right? So let's look at. I'll give you a little more data to it, right? If you see, these are all the only 2 reasons related to process failure. Because I have not adopted process well, we failed. Only 2 reasons. I'm talking about the top 9 reasons. Yeah. So if you see, there are few. So practice process doesn't ensure success. That means what? The remaining 7 other reasons says that out of 9, 7 other reasons are actually non-process related. Even if you do really well, the process part, you may fail. Or chances are pretty high that you will fail because you cannot sustain. Yeah. So, so next reason, right? If you see this, there are 2 related to structure. Right? Your organization structure, team structure, like people are not put in place in the right way, right? So those are all 2 reasons for success. If you see 5 of them are related to culture, right? 5 out of 9 top reasons are related to culture, right? 2 at least for culture structure. So 5 plus 2, 7 are not related to process. So whatever great process you follow, the chances of you failing is very high. So you have to go beyond process to see what is the structure change that we need to make, what are the cultural change we need to adopt so that it is sustained. It looks like it is successful. First, right, few sprints, it's like you get results. Have you seen that? Right, first few sprints, it's my experience is I coach, I work with the team. Okay, they're doing good. I go this side, I turn back, that's gone. Right, in 3 months, they go back to their world, their old way of doing because that's what they've been doing for 20 years, right, 15 years. So it's sustaining is not very easy just by bringing process, right, or without having a reason for a process. Yeah. So one thing that we forgot in the whole agile transformation is the first value of agile focused on people. The first and foremost value of the 4 value statements, right? Agile is not the beauty of agile is it is not a methodology. It just gives you state values and principles. That's it, right? You define how do you want to take it forward. The frameworks help you further to define it. Yeah. So the first value says individuals and interactions over process and tools, but we get stuck with this part of it. Yeah, and tools. Are you agile? Yeah, we are using Jira or backlog items in Jira. Right? Is it? It's very common stuff, right? So okay. So process, we saw that it is a doing agile. Okay, so now all this process I put it as an outer layer. Yeah? So these all these items that I've written here, let me put it outside layer. Yeah, because that's required. Do we need a process? We need process. I'm not saying don't do sprint planning. It is required, but is that enough? Is a question. Yeah? So we need to go beyond process. Without a process, can you bring a culture? It's also hard. You cannot just bring a good agile culture without having these fundamental processes. Yeah? So we will follow process, but we'll put this as outer layer. Process is a starting point. Right? It's just a start to have a good agile transformation. Yeah? So next part is the structure, because we saw that a couple of failures are because of structure. Yeah. So are we? Have you seen these three roles in your organization? Are they well defined? Yeah, pretty much defined, right? I'll show you how it is defined. Scrum Master. Have you seen this technical Scrum Master? There is JDs are in place, and if you go to search for, I need a technical Scrum Master with a super Java experience. That is how it is well defined for us now, isn't it? Exactly. Oh, I have senior. I have seen senior. I have seen lead Scrum Master. Right. It's a way it is. We don't see how. If you look at these three roles, the product owner comes from the product management organization from the past. I'm just looking at current and the past, like a traditional organization. Product management actually takes over the product owner role. The development team comes from the old developers, the UI team, the backend team, the testing team. Right? We bring all of them together as a development team. So where does Scrum Master come from? We made it as project management. Right? The beauty of Scrum is that it's such a wonderful role that it is come from nowhere. It never existed in the past. It was defined it for Scrum. But what we did, we actually put people in place, right? Existing people in place, right? I've been a project manager for last 10 years. Yeah, role map, right? So it is like I'm a project manager. I've been asking status, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is my job for last 10 years. Now you tell me Scrum Master and say, can I help you? Because that's the job of a Scrum Master, right? How can I help you? How can I remove impediment for you? Is it possible? Are we enabling the? I don't blame the project managers, right? We don't really tell them what you're supposed to do. We just tell them that from tomorrow you are a Scrum Master, right? And that, okay, I'm okay with that. As long as you don't throw me out, I'm okay with that. And then we continue. Next day also he comes and says, what have you done? What have you done, right? So that actually impacts the further culture. Yeah. And I've seen a rotational Scrum Master. Every sprint will rotate so that we don't impact any of these people. Have you seen that? Yeah, rotational. I've seen literally every sprint, 8-member team, every sprint. So 8 sprints it takes for a person to ninth sprint again he'll come back. Exactly. Exactly. And and it is this rotation. By the time you learn, you as a Scrum Master, you need to learn the job. It's not easy job, because it says a servant leader, right? So the one mistake that has been done was not probably probably giving that power to Scrum Master, saying that I am the owner of the process, I am the owner for Agile Transformation, I am responsible to make this team transform. Giving the power of knowledge, power of taking decisions. He said, you're a servant leader, you became a servant finally, right? So they became like that, right? Postman, have you seen Postman? So Scrum Master just booking a room and bringing people to the for a sprint planning, right? So we're not really defined the role. So Scrum Master role in Scrum not defined well, you will definitely fail. So I always focus on choosing the best people in the Scrum Master role, right? The right person in the Scrum Master. What are the attributes this person has? And I work with the leaders and say that, hey, if they choose people who have these 6 attributes, I don't care where they come from. They come from project management, development, testing, doesn't matter. We need a people who can actually believe in this, right, and do the job for the team. Right? So that's one thing that we have messed up, right? So product owner. So I have seen this availability problem. Right? The product manager comes as a product owner and not available for the calls. Like after this sprint planning, the product manager comes back for the sprint review. Not available for retrospective, not available even for a backlog refinement. We will refine the backlog during our sprint planning. Have you seen that? right? Backlog refinement happens, right? So the default role is not, right, clearly given that, proxy PO. That's one more innovation. Yeah, we want to have a proxy so that, we save somebody else under the carpet. We put the problem under the carpet, right? So that's one, and there are enough challenges that we have in a development team. Like, and I still see some teams, like, and I say that, oh, the once the development team, within a Scrum team I'm talking, okay, once the development team does the job, I think they'll give me the build. Okay, who's the development team? These two guys, right? They still have that mindset change. The mindset is not changed. But, I'm a tester and I belong to another organization, right? I'm just there. It is. I have seen yesterday. Trust me, the large enterprises. I have seen yesterday this case where people don't believe that, I am born to test. I'm born to write Java code. Nothing else, right? So we don't have any other industry that that fixes the role like that. That I will write only Java code. You ask a person to think about AngularJS, they'll just stare at you like, what the hell are you talking? Because we're not okay with that. Because I like Java. I've been writing Java code for the last 8 years, right? So, and component teams, right? The pure component teams, the UI team, the backend team, the testing team, and they will actually work together. They'll have stories like UI story, backend story, testing story. After 4 sprints, something will come out. Yes, Sunil. See, they're smarter than you, right? They know how to fit this beautifully. Yeah, it's a very, very common problem because people don't want to change the structure. Right? And I think we have been working together for last 8 years. It is working. Why should we change? There's a lot of resistance, right? And this resistance doesn't come only from the team. It's come actually from the leadership. Right? I've seen this. Leadership is not only the CEOs, right? Leadership is also those the first line, second line managers, the directors, and above, right? So, so there's a lot of issues like architect role is not defined. There are we have already like 10, 15 different designations, and we have a one role called development team. Right? These are two different things. Now we have not really mapped these two, and Scrum is silent on it. If Scrum is silent, what we will do? We'll also be silent. Right? That's what we did it. Right? So we messed up a lot of people's life by doing it. Do you think finally the people are happy just moving to Scrum? They're not, because we have actually, they don't know the reason why we have to do this way. Why dev and QA need to sit together? There's nobody explaining why part of it. Right? Okay, so this is the 3 critical roles. On top of that, we also have additional roles, right? So we spoke about the project manager, right? The project managers who have been doing a fantastic job for the last 10 years, where do they fit in? We put them in a Scrum Master role or senior Scrum Master, lead Scrum Master, or some designation, right? That's given, but without a support. Engineering managers are left just untouched. Have you seen that? I don't know what to do now because I've been doing estimation planning. Now this one coach comes and tells that the team will take care of it. So what will I do? Right? And actually not focusing on this group, we are going to, as an organization, we lose something really big because these people are actually critical for the organization. Right? There's some reason that they become engineering managers, right? And then you also have other teams like UX team, release management team, an ops team, right? Stakeholders, end users, agile leaders, right? So in one of my just the previous transformation, what we did was we created a role called agile leader, and that role is anybody who's playing a leadership role in agile transformation will become agile leader. So it's a scrum master, it's a product owner, it's a manager, right? It's anybody, the leaders like a director and above. You are all agile leaders. If Scrum fails in this team or Agile fails in this team, you are all responsible for it. And we made it as a pull-based transformation. It is not me who's going to push it to you. It is you who pull it from me because it needs to sustain, right? So create a proper structure in place that they will have it, hold it, they'll hold it for longer time. when I move out, right? And it actually worked very well, really, really well, because we made a leadership working agreement with the senior leadership. So what is your role? Do you have your skin in the game? Right? That's my next one. If you see the top one, the leadership agility, right? It's about what's the senior leader's role, director of the organization. What is your, or do you have your skin in the game? If it fails, you are the first person to be responsible, not me. Yeah. So, I also, my definition of agile is that I come from South. My parents are from Kerala. So, my definition of agile is it's an Ayurvedic medicine. It's an Ayurvedic medicine. You know what this means? So, when do you take what Ayurvedic medicine? You have some really chronic problem. Yeah. And what happens to Ayurvedic medicine when you take? It takes time. It completely cures. Slow and very effective. It completely cures. And you have to follow certain disciplines. If the Ayurvedic doctor tells you have to take it morning 6 a.m. with empty stomach, you better do that. Right? You cannot put this. What Sunil was saying, that we have a feature story and then we have back end story and a front end story, and right. If you don't follow certain things, you're not going to get benefit. Right? So you better take Ayurvedic medicine in a way it is defined. Right? So these are all things that we need to fix. This is one part of the capsule, the Ayurvedic capsule. Yeah? Okay, so what should we do? Definitely, just don't move program managers or project managers to Scrum Masters. Right? The unique role in Scrum, we spoke about it. Right? Create a great career. Choose a right person as a Scrum Master. Spend a lot of time. If you don't have a right Scrum Master, choose a right. It need not be from the team, from outside. Choose a right person who believes in process, who can work with the team, who can help the team move forward, right? More of a we person, right? And then coach that person heavily, right? I work primarily with this community, not really with the team, because if I enable a Scrum Master very well, actually I have myself here. I put myself here. If I do it with 10 Scrum Masters, the 10 teams will actually flourish. Yeah, that's the first one, the structural part. Yeah, the dev team is not equal to the developers plus testers. Break the mindset. I always ask this one question to in every sprint. Scrum Masters, do you have your engineers taking a work, one task in the whole sprint planning, which is beyond their comfort zone? A tester doing automation, a developer doing some level of test case creation, or something which you have not done it, right? If you cannot do it on your own, go sit with somebody else, right? If I don't know how to write a code, I'm okay with it. So go sit with a developer and see what is developer doing, so that you actually go beyond the circle, right? Break that barrier, right? Co-locate the team as much as possible, right? Align product manager to, product owner to this completely the roles and responsibilities. Redefine the role of a manager, right? Role of a manager is changed a lot, right? If it is not changed, right, we have to really change, right? So coach, facilitate, right? Facilitator, like, technically helping, right? I have seen one of the organizations in Bangalore. So when I worked with the manager, I said, well, how do you put yourself into it? He said, I don't know what to do, because last 10 years he was just doing a people management, right? So do we need such kind of managers? Probably no, right? So next one, agile coach. This is another common problem that I see in the industry. Agile coaches come like Swamiji's, give some gyans and go. Yeah, if I'm a coach, it's better that my skin is also in the game. Your success or failure, I am responsible. Whatever it is, you succeed or fail, I as a coach is responsible, right? So this is a culture that we need to create. Yeah. So remove fear from managers. This is one more thing that managers get, because the skill set issues and all that, right? And educate and mentor them, right? All the leaders, we spoke about it, right? Agile leaders, bring that agile leadership culture, right? And heavily coach them. Just don't. The whole transformation, if you see, it's a 2-day Scrum workshop for the teams, and we are agile. Have you seen this? It's very common. And after that, nothing. So all other things, we just left it open. Very, very seldom that you will succeed if you don't touch upon the other areas. Yeah. So senior leaders definitely skin in the game, right? How I do it, I work with the leader and make a leadership working agreements. I put in dots. My commitment is my skin is in the game. You will deliver value what you want. You tell me your problem, I'll solve it. But what do you do for this? What is your role in it? Right? So bring that commitment from the senior leader. If the senior leader doesn't agree, I know that this is going to fail. I don't take up the assignment. Actually, I've left 2 assignments just by talking to leader. This doesn't make sense for me spending 6 months because I know I'm going to fail. Exactly. Yeah. They think it's for them, right? It's not for me, right? So, right? Okay. So these are all structural changes. Let me put it again in the side. Yeah, because we have seen structural and cultural problems, right? So this is another part. The third part, the crucial part, is actually culture, right? The culture part. How do we bring the culture? Performance management, right? It's one of the cultures that the organization should be performance-driven culture. Agile culture is a performance-driven culture, right? Performance is measured every day, right? End of the sprint, performance is measured. Whose performance? The team's performance is measured, right? If you have not changed from your traditional performance management, that's one thing that we need to look at. So these are all the challenges with disruptions in your performance management. Yeah. So why? Because we work with knowledge workers. You know who are the knowledge workers? Perfect. The knowledge workers are those who knows more about their work than their bosses. You know, you are better than your boss. Your team is much better than you. Trust me. Go back silently, watch this, look at it. If we are probably freshers today, we won't get a job. How we were in 20 years back, 15 years back, with the same skill or same kind of attitude if we are today, probably won't get a job because freshers are much, much smarter today. Have you seen that? Now, can you assign a job? Can you guide? Can you tell them to do this, do this, do this? To those who know better than you, right? So performance management has to be changed. It should not be top driven. So performance management should be team level. Yeah. Let me take an example. Football. How is performance management measured? You score a goal. Who scores a goal? The team. Yeah. In 5 minutes, you score a goal. You are given that goal in 5 minutes, not after 1 year or performance appraisal after 1 year. Yeah. Here, 5 minutes, you get a goal. You won it. Yeah. You got that point. Okay. 2 yellow cards in first 5 minutes. You are out of the game. Does it happen at the end of the game? It happens in 5 minutes. First 5 minutes, 2 yellow cards, you are out of the game. Right? That is a performance-driven culture. Are we doing it? 3 sprints, one of the engineers saying that I'm still working on that story, still working on that story. Do we take that action? Because we've not defined it. How do we measure performance in agile culture? It's very important to measure a performance, define a performance culture within the organization when you are agile. Yeah. So definitely three. One is the team performance. Look at the team performance. So have at least organization. I've done this for one of the organizations, the small organizations. We actually measured 40% of your component comes from your team performance. You are still measured as individual because team is not all of them are same. 40% come from you know from your team performance, and the 60 come from you. Right? If you don't deliver as a team, all of you are measured 40% same. That's not easy, but it's actually a very good step. And we saw some very positive things. And we also did 360-degree feedback, where this is another myth that our people are not matured. I don't think they'll give feedback, and they will actually have vengeance has all been visible in the 360-degree feedback. That's not true. So in one of the companies in Bangalore, when we did this 360, surprisingly 2 cases came up. One, the director thought this guy is really great. The team rated him below average. The whole team rated because he is a I person, not a we person. It's always I will win. It's me over all other people. Yeah? Second is the manager thought the team is this guy is not good. Team rated him exceeding expectation. In a scale, we gave some scale. The whole team rated him. So I gave a message to manager that he's a director of engineering. Okay, so I told him that see, it is you who's having a different perception. See, now I don't think the team. How come team gave me this? I said now it's time to relook at it and see how you are measuring your people, right? And actually, performance appraisal change, right? So those are all things that we need to take it forward. Yeah. So the first is performance, right? Second is the team structure. So this is how it was, right? The pre-agile world. Yeah. So the different teams, different cultures, different skills. In agile world, we put all of them together. A UI developer, back-end developer, front-end developer, right? All of them tester, automation engineer, all of them together. Cross-functional team. Yeah. So the challenge is we are still one colored person. That's one challenge. We need to slowly have a different, multicolored. It's called a T skill. Have you heard about this T skill? Start building a T skill, right? If organization spend 10% of your time for the team, saying that spend 10% of your time every sprint, 80 hours of capacity in 2 weeks, spend 8 hours building a T skill. Somebody said, why should I do it? No, this will affect my career. So I had one-on-one with one of this very technical guy saying that spending 6 to 8 hours in a sprint, do you think your career will spoil? Give me 3 reasons why it will get spoiled. Could not give. Then I said, try for 2, 3 sprints and let's see what happens. After 3 sprints, this person came back and said, yeah, I know now end to end, my whole perspective is changed. Right? So try this with, okay, let's try for 2, 3 sprints, right? And then actually it changes the mind. Right? If it doesn't work, let's go back. So you will see 80% of the team supporting you after 3 sprints, but get the 3 sprints time. Right? Let's try for 2, 3 sprints and then see if it works or not. And then at least 80% of people say this is really good. Okay, we'll change. Right? So, and I'm giving you 3 different scenarios, right? 3 cross-functional team, and these are the 2 managers, the 3 managers, yeah. Right? What kind of good? So, what kind of a manager do you have? This is like completely with one skill. This is kind of one skill with a little bit of additional skill. The third is the manager knows all of the skills. Where do you see your organization? 1 or 2 or 3? Mostly 2, right? Yeah, mostly 2. Some cases 1. It's very hard to see 3. Like if I'm a manager of a team of 8 people, I understand completely AngularJS and Java and testing and performance and whatnot. It's very hard, right? So that's not the right scenario also, right? So in this kind of a situation, if you allow only manager to measure your team, who doesn't even know the other colors, it's very hard, right? It's wrong. Right? So performance management should be focused on a team just for another reason, right? Okay. Okay. And now the reason why I also gave this picture is the decision should be decentralized. That's a culture that we should create. Yeah. So there is a nice story about like a nuclear submarine, right, which has one captain and 134 people working for in the submarine. Nuclear submarine, okay, in the US. 134 people with one captain. He made it completely decentralized. Every decision is yours except launching the missile. Except that one decision, every other decision is with my team. And he saw that his whole team got multiple awards because they extremely performed well, year over year, year over year. There's a very nice video about this. Okay, if a nuclear missile, nuclear submarine can do that, can we do it with Scrum team? What stops us? Allow people to take decisions, right? That's a culture. Tell them that it's you who own it, right? You commit, you deliver. If you don't deliver, you will fix it. But you need to be predictable. That's a goal, right? Allow them, like instead of just you giving as a manager giving a lot of directions. Okay, so that's a second called decentralized and empowering the team. What comes to your mind when you see this? Team, right? Was it did they win because of the skills? And you know whom they played against, right? Watch this movie. It's a very inspirational movie. It's just that they are together, right? This should be your appraisal component. That how well are we working as a team? What is your contribution to team? So that the team is flourishing, right? So this build a lot of focus a lot on team culture, right? So it's basically look at the V versus I, right? That's one of the measurements. Okay, so I'm sure you would have heard this statement. Like, it was not 1,000 attempts failed, right? It was an invention of 1,000 steps. Yeah, this is what Edison made it. So, what does it mean? Are we open for a failure? Right? So if the team fails, we start blaming. So we are supposed to do retrospective. We are not doing but what we do postmortem end of a sprint. Right? The postmortem is done on whom? on the body, right? Not human, the dead body, right? So we actually kill people by saying that it is you who failed. It's because of you we did this wrong. Find an opportunity to succeed, right? Instead of saying, okay, this is where we failed. Good, we failed in 2 weeks. Right? We want to move forward. We correct it. 1,000 times you can fail, not on the same reason. Right? So allow a culture, right? So this is the Tuckman's model, right? There is a very famous model called Tuckman's model. It says that whatever you start, you form. The moment you form, you will storm. You will fail. You're expected to fail. Don't worry about it. Start fixing it so that you start norming and performing. Right? This is a leadership responsibility to make sure that the support is given. The failure culture is enabled. Right? Fail and learn. Yeah. And what is this? Can you see this? What is it? Oh, sorry. What is it? Being self-organized. Right? There's a lot of story around the the whole universe. How this self-organized. We have not taught anyone to any of these small. See the small creatures. They actually self-organize. They actually cross the ocean by actually flying like this. They keep taking a turn around. They cross the ocean. They self-organize, right? This is a self-organization example, right? They just connect with one and actually move from one end to another end. They actually make a bridge out of it, right? Sorry? They don't have brain, yeah. So that's why they succeeded, huh? That's why they're self-organized. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So few other things like that's self-organizing is another culture that we need to create, constantly create. Like intrinsic motivation is another culture, right? Are we allowing people to? We're tapping. We should tap the intrinsic motivation of people, right? It's not just okay. You do something really good. I'll give you a laptop or I'll give you some goodies, some bonus, and right. That kills actually the right the innovation part of it, right? Tap the intrinsic motivation. Look at this. The best of the best operating system in the world is Unix. Who built it? The community. Why did they build it? Because they want to build it, not because they want to get a salary at the end of the month. Right? All these people are actually working for some of the large enterprises, right? Fortune 500 companies, but they built it, and they built it as such a robust system, right? That is the intrinsic motivation. Tap the intrinsic motivation of people. Okay, so follow this. Like the culture should be the focus, but start with the process. Change the structure. Without changing a structure, you don't get benefit. Focus on cultural change in people. Start monitoring every sprint. Yeah. Sorry. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Right. So co-location should be. That's why this Scrum team is supposed to be co-located, ideally, right? Because imagine a team of 6 people, one from US and one from Europe and one in India, one China, one Japan. You don't have a common language to speak. Forget about language. There is no common culture here, right? Right. This is not distributed. This is dispersed team. We create and we screw up these things. This, the, which is exactly the problem is there, but it's a little more easier than having talking to phone. Yeah. So we talk to phone, right? Just look at the phone and talk. The moment we are all there together is a little more easier. Have you seen that biggest problems get solved by just sending one person to onshore 2 weeks? Just by going and talking, things get solved, right? See if we can bring people together. Different cultures still can be solved. The moment you disperse the team across the different geographical locations, it's a problem. One team in one of my consulting assignments, we found that we could not find one common time for a daily scrum. There is no common time for somebody is sleeping anytime. I mean, one person is sleeping, right? Anytime you take in the 24 hours. That we wanted to die. Right? I told the leader, like, hey, you don't want to succeed. You decided that you don't want to succeed. Right? Obviously it will fail. Oh, okay. So so I think he's pushing me, right? So okay. Yeah, so quickly I'll finish these 4 points and then maybe take one question. Yeah, he's been trying to ask a question. So structure and culture is connected with the human being. Very important, yeah, because we have a culture, we have a structure in our homes, we have structure, right? Create a focus on that, right? Second is culture focused process structure driven transformation. without human focus, it does not sustain. Right? Focus on human. If you want to sustain the transformation, focus on human and educate HR on agile practices because they play today. Actually, I conducted a survey with at least some 40 HR leaders. Yeah? I asked them, what is your role in agile transformation? Zero. Some people don't even know what is agile all about. Some people say that, yeah, I heard from engineering leader because he wants to increase the productivity, predictability, quality, all nonsense, right? Not really the people part of it. Yeah. So educate your HR on all this, right? Yeah. So one question with your permission.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. And what was all this part of that? Like structural changes. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Which is true. Which is true. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Why Agile needs a lot of practice and mastery. You don't gain a language fluency just by reading it. You have to practice it again and again with that knowledge.
So there's a book called Habit. It says to get a new habit, if you want to walk at 6 o'clock in the morning, you have to do on an average around 58 times, right? If you continuously do it for 52 or 58 times, if you do it, then it becomes a habit, right? So that's a habit that we need to create. Yeah. So
I think we need to cut short. So
so
I think great session indeed. Thank you very
thank you.
much.
Thank you.